What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Tuesday, August 30th, 2022. Rocking here once again on Music of Destruction, bringing you the best in metal-related content. Thank you so much for joining me here for another episode. If you missed anything in the past week, you know the drill. Click the I, bring down that menu, all the videos you need to get caught up there on the homepage or there. What a busy week, man. We had a lot of reviews. We had some great rankings. We had some great fucking top 15s. One every week, obviously. But yeah, I'd really appreciate it if you'd go and get caught up on the homepage. Remember to subscribe and turn on that bell for all notifications so you don't miss anything. Unfiltered, uncompromising, brutally honest, and raw the way it fucking should be. If you're going to call yourself a goddamn metalhead, you can't be for authority, control, or censorship, or any of that stuff. Metal fucking embraces freedom, not statism. Come out of your fucking brain-dead states, people. Really? If you don't like what I do here, then go watch somebody else who will agree with you that authority is good, or that statism is good. That's not freedom. That's enslavement. Welcome to Album Review Tuesdays here on the channel. Tonight we're doing another member request. This one coming to us from Aaron once again. So tonight I am looking at Sepultura's Arise, released in 1991 on Roadrunner Records. Now I hope that by now you'll at least have some knowledge about this band. And the fact is that Sepultura are one of the biggest bands to come out of Brazil. Okay, now when they had both Max and Igor, they were one of the best thrash metal bands of all time. Of course, they had some death metal elements in their work, and indeed there is a little bit of that on Arise as well, but that was more prevalent on Bestial Devastation, Morbid Vengeance, and of course Schizophrenia. There was even a little bit on Beneath and a little tiny tinge of that here on Arise, but it's mostly thrash fucking metal. Now the lineup on Arise, we got Max Cavalera vocals and rhythm guitars and lyrics, Andreas Kisser guitars, bass, we got lead guitars there as well, and Igor Cavalera on drums. What a lineup, a three-piece powerhouse here with Sepultura. Alright, let's get into it. Now the album opens up with the title track Arise, which has some great dark ominous effects, some tom work, and it begins to set the tone for this thunderous record before it explodes into a full-on thrash metal assault with a dirty production that fits the fucking record perfectly. I cannot say enough about getting production right, especially when you're doing metal. It doesn't need to be fucking polished, okay? Simple. We need to get back to this fucking time period in metal. Now, every instrument can be heard with clarity, but it's got enough dirt to have a sick, powerful sound and emotional, visceral presence that it literally induces some incredible head-banging and fist-pumping rage towards the man, of course, and all of their atrocities against the people. I mean, that's the whole fucking point of metal, to stand up against authoritarianism, okay? The riffing is memorable and profound, but there's also some great lead guitar work from Andreas and Max on this track. The conquering feel and rage on this track is done in spades, guys, and this is back when Sepultura was amazing and took no fucking prisoners. What happened to that band? Oh, that's right, Max and Igor left, and those other fucking clowns are still doing Sepultura. It's an embarrassment. Anyway, this is a thunderous opener that will have your neck banging for days. Great stuff. Next up is Dead Embryonic Cells, which has a futuristic ambient opening before it once again comes crashing down into a full-on thrash metal assault. Starts off a bit more mid-paced and then of course takes on a full blasting attack of speed a bit later, but this one is more focused on the mid-pacing with some soaring riffs. Very powerful atmosphere here overall. Then of course picks up in speed and intensity as Max bellows out his vocals and lyrics with full-on fucking just power and conviction, man, as only he can do, with precise conviction and validity. The nuances and dynamics on this track, absolutely awesome as well, but it's also very primal in its attack and assault. There's some great, incredible double bass sections here that lend themselves to the power and conviction of this track by Igor and Andreas. Of course, you got the bass and guitar work also complementing Max's guitar work, with the soloing here absolutely on point, fast, deadly, to the point, and the way they work in synchronicity is astounding to witness, especially on their early releases, okay? This is another deadly thrash metal attack. Next, we have Desperate Cry, and wow, the clean guitar melodies on this one definitely elicits a strong array of emotions One of which, of course, is sadness and desperation, but this really gets powerful later on and a little bit less sad, as you got some great distortion and pounding tribal drum work that works perfectly and blends seamlessly into the 7-minute epic track that's a bit more of a mid-paced affair, but there's also some double bass here that really elevate it to speeds and aggression that are pretty fucking awesome. Then they're brought in at just the right times, and the writing is immaculate and well-timed, done with perfection. Of course, once again, I mean, this is awesome. And then you got some great tempo shifts into some incredible great blasting on the snare that hits really fucking hard here, guys. Like, it's great. The lyricism and power coming from the instrumentation on point and astounding. This is another amazing track. Next up, we have Murder, a fast, frantic thrash metal attack with some soaring lead guitar work in the foreground. To start things off, then it breaks into kind of this thrashing, stomping, brutal ferocity with Max's incredible vocal range and work. Once again, awesome knack for songwriting along with Igor and Andreas. The emotions of this track, very powerful and angry with a strong disgust for the system, which seeks to enslave us all, even worse than we are already. And it's amazing how they knew about all this back then. Of course, I knew about it growing up. Some people just fucking see through the bullshit. The one thing I've always loved about this band is their incredible stance against the government and authority, okay? The drumming, pounding out aggression, and all throughout the savage riffing comes into play here. Very fast, 3-minute blasting, 3.5-minute blasting thrash metal attack. Great stuff. Next up, we have Subtraction, and well, we get more of that old school fuck society Sepultura, the way I love them. But that was such a focal point at this time that it blows the mind how awesome the band was and the poignancy of their music and the way it was being delivered as its driving force towards freedom and perseverance, triumph over everyday life and the powers that try to control us all. That's what it's all about, man. I mean, this is Brazilian thrash metal, so there's always a strong emphasis on primal drum patterns and some great, like, South American atmosphere from the guitar work that make it sound like it came from centuries ago. Definitely present all throughout this album. And of course, you got Sepultura's earlier work, of course, back when Max and Igor were young, hungry, and out to eat the world alive. This track definitely emphasizes these ideas and concepts through its visceral attacks, melodies, impeccable songwriting, and nuances. Lyrics, all great. Let's check out some of Sepultura here on Music of Destruction. Enjoy. And we are back. What a killer track. Next, we have Altered State. This is a really intriguing track, guys, with some awesome ambience, tribal drum work at the beginning with some bongos and some wind instruments and some ambience in the background. There's, yeah, like some great flute, I believe, and some darker wind instruments on here that give this track a really strong breath of psychedelic fresh air before it breaks, of course, once again into that thrash metal attack, which would have been nice if they left the beginning part to kind of like simmer a bit longer, if you get what I mean. Like it's good, but I wish that ambient stuff was a little bit more integrated. It would show up in later albums, but anyway, I digress. This is still an awesome track. We got 7 minutes here once again with Max singing about the terrifying states of consciousness that he was perhaps writing about while he was in this state. That's where this comes from in my eyes. You got great double bass, pounding guitars, fast blasting sections that contracts back into slower tempo sections that create some great memorable headbanging frenzy that I absolutely love. Also, the lead guitar work on here is mind-blowing. Great stuff. Next, we've got Under Siege, and there's a clean guitar melody to start this one off that has some really moving and emotional depth to it, along with Igor's drum work, and then boom, distorted guitars that soar over this atmospheric piece that delivers a sonic rage edge over its well-framed, structured writing that really takes you into the center stage of all this, down some incredible nuanced paths of emotional release, jackhammered drumming, and awesome low-end riff thrashing that sounds amazing, that really rounds off this emotional, powerful masterpiece. Another great track. Next, we have Meaningless Movements, and here we go with some more thrash madness, and this one pulls you through various twists and tempo shift and moods and emotions once again. Now, I'm also going to talk about the production once again because of how awesome and alive and organic this feels. It has the right amount of dirt, which you need in metal. You can't be super fucking polished, okay? And it shifts into these driving forward sections that shift into various peaks and nuanced valleys that set the track's emphasis in concrete conviction, profound strong passion, and a feeling that is one of the best things that always made Sepultura stand out back then, which of course is their strong message and powerful lyrics. What a great track and amazing musical talent. Next, we have Infected Voice, and wow, amazing stuff. You got fast blistering speeds here, but also slower mid-pace parts that make the hooks come alive and come through and stick with you all throughout the duration of the track and the album, of course, all while being destroyed with thrashing intensity, powerful emotions, and speed from the track's overall emphasis on raw aggression, speed, and primal guitar and drum work, of course. All made better by Max's amazing vocals, and his own guitar work on this album is fucking amazing. I mean, holy shit, this might just be my favorite track on the album. Amazing stuff. Next up, we have a cover of Motorhead's Orgasmatron, and this is a great cover, and I'd almost say it's a little bit better in some ways because it just sounds more heavier and aggressive, which can only be done by Sepultura. Finally, a proper Motorhead cover. This is really good. Great stuff. Closing out the album, we got Criminals in Uniform, and like the name suggests, this is all about Sepultura's anti-authoritarian stance against corruption and abuse of power from law enforcement officials. Which obviously I completely agree with, being that I'm an anarchist. If you don't know what anarchy truly is, go educate yourselves and pull your heads out of your ass. Anyway, this is a powerful thrash metal, intense attack on all the senses. One of Sepultura's best closers I've ever heard. It's absolutely amazing. The final verdict for Arise from Sepultura is getting a 10 out of 10. Songwriting, production, emotion, power, and aggression of the instrumentation, absolutely unmatched, okay? Fucking killer record from these Brazilian legends. Their first 4 or 5, yeah, I think it's 5. Chaos AD is pretty good too. But, I mean, absolutely awesome. And too bad those clowns in the new Sepultura carry on using the name when their music is absolutely atrocious and there's not one original member. Garbage. Anyway, alright guys, there you have it, another album review in the books here on the channel. Hope you enjoyed the premiere. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell for all notifications. Merchandise links in the description, as well as the store tab on the homepage. Thank you to Janelle for putting up new merch. It's also almost done my green screen. I've seen the desk and the chair, all the awesome stuff that's going to be going into this new set. It's going to be great. Thank you, Janelle. Join the channel, become an MOD Elite. Awesome perks, $4.99 per month. Hit the join button, access exclusive content, review requests within reason, band interviews and promotions if I like the band, collaborations, and I'll help you with your channel if it's metal. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you for Album Ranking Wednesdays. Hails.